Good afternoon, Parsons MPS, AAS, MFA graduates, faculty, family, and friends. The School of Fashion is committed to fostering a culture of creativity, accountability, and equity. Today, we begin by acknowledging that we are gathered on the unceded ancestral lands of the Lenape people, past and present. We recognize the enduring relationship between Indigenous communities and this land. We recognize the histories that shape the spaces we inhabit and the responsibility we carry, not only to acknowledge this history, but to engage it meaningfully in the work we do with the hope of creating more just and inclusive futures. Today marks the culmination of years of study, creative risk-taking, critical feedback, and rigorous work. You've spent your time at Parsons learning how to express your creative vision, but more importantly, you've been learning how to think, how to observe, how to question, how to challenge convention, and to do so with purpose in a city that moves at the pace of reinvention. You have asked new questions. You have proposed new systems. You have begun to redefine what the fields of fashion, business, textiles, marketing, and communication can be. The writer James Baldwin said, quote, "The purpose of art is to lay bare the questions that have been hidden by the answers," unquote. This is the critical work we have trained you to do, to challenge established norms and assumptions and expose the unasked questions that lie beneath the surface of accepted beliefs and solutions, to see not just what is visible, but what is missing, to open space, to invite others in, to expand what is possible. You are graduating into a time of profound change. Technology is shifting the boundaries of design. Political and social movements are redefining who and what fashion is for. The climate crisis is demanding new systems. Business models must be reimagined. None of this is easy, but none of it is beyond your reach. If there's one thing this city and this school have taught you, it is that your ideas matter, but they must be met with discipline, care, and commitment. Your time at Parsons has not only prepared you to navigate change, it has prepared you to shape it. The road ahead will demand resilience. It will require collaboration. It will test your convictions, but you are ready to meet these challenges. Parsons has never been about training you to replicate what exists. It's about giving you the tools and the critical lens to imagine what does not yet exist and to make it real. That is innovation. And innovation, when guided by values, becomes a force for equity. Take the knowledge, the skills, and most importantly, the relationships you've built at Parsons and move forward with integrity. In your communities of practice, the companies you become a part of, or the brands that you launch, ask good questions, keep learning, work with people who challenge you, and remember that your education doesn't end today. It begins again with every project you undertake. We are so proud of you, and we can't wait to see what you do next. Congratulations, class of 2025. Now, please join me in welcoming Yvonne Watson, the Executive Dean of Parsons, who will introduce our keynote speaker for today.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. And thank you, Fiona, for your inspiring words. So it is a pleasure to welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. This is a moment to celebrate all that's been achieved and all that is yet to unfold. A time to recognize hard work, curiosity, and resilience that have brought us here, and to honor the journeys each of you has taken to get to this point. We are especially honored to welcome Mrs. Sung-Ju Kim, chairperson of the Sung-Ju Group and the visionary force behind the global reinvention of MCM. Her leadership spanning Oxford, Harvard, LVMH, and beyond has consistently challenged what it means to lead, centering innovation, equity, and purpose at every turn. Under her guidance, MCM has grown into a platform that celebrates bold creativity and global vision. So it's not a surprise that there would be the opportunity for collaboration between ourselves, Parsons, because we share already the same kind of vision. Some years ago, MCM came to us in order to facilitate and to talk about a way that we could collaborate. So I am especially delighted that today we do have that opportunity to solidify a collaboration. MCM is embarking on a new partnership with Parsons in collaboration with the GROMAC Institute. This partnership is rooted in a shared commitment to creativity, innovation, and sustainability. It will explore the intersections of new media, technology, social causes, design, and business. This is not just a collaboration, it's an invitation, an opportunity for our students and faculty to co-create with a global leader committed to pushing boundaries and advancing change. So it is my honor to welcome Mrs. Sung Joo Kim for our keynote. Thank you, everyone.
Wow, thank you. In fact, it was a quite unexpected invitation because it was middle of my whirlwind trip. Actually, right after I had to flying out to Switzerland or Europe for another meetings. So may I excuse two things? One is after my talk, I had to walk away, if you don't mind. Another thing is my attire. I have a sleeveless and very funky pants. I upcycled because the pants was left out. They didn't have my size. It was too long. So I cut with my own scissors a few days ago. And this was my winter tuxedo. But it's summer, it's too warm, so I just cut my arm. So this is what creation about, right? So, in fact, creation is not doing somebody else. There's 5 kinds. This is an unexpected talk, but one is, of course, fabric is so important, material for sustainable, high-tech, a lot of challenges there. That's very important. We are in it. Second, creation is done by designers. A lot of you doing this design, but please try to do out-of-box thinking. That's what I would recommend. And the third one is also, of course, MD merchandising, so important, business-driven. Without proof, you cannot make sales. And fourth, the creation, I would say, the buyers and also especially store managers, visual merchandiser, because that makes heaven and earth difference. And fifth, creation is done by ourselves, customers. So one thing I know, I come from luxury sector. I mean, before starting a little about my life story, my story a little bit crazy. I brought up in South Korea, so I have an Asian face. And I graduated from college. My parents say, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to America." "No, women don't need a further education unless you marry a man. He take you there." I said, "No." So I escaped. So I ended up at Amherst College as a transfer student. Guess what? That was 1979, the wild day of these, fraternities and this old male school turned out to be co-ed. So first day was, sharing co-ed bathroom. Co-ed bathroom. Have you heard about it? Probably parents doesn't want to hear about that. So it was 1979. So of course, if my parents knew I was sharing co-ed bathroom, then he would take me away immediately. That's what the first experience of being in Western American wild wilderness, let's say. And apart from learning English and all this cultural shock and, but never mind. And secondly, my father and mother started to worry, oh my God, my father is kind of big energy tycoon, very conservative, Confucius guy, also studied in Japan, samuraiism, worst combination, I have to say. So women should be this and that, came from billionaire family, marrying into another billionaire family through the arranged marriage. Still, it is so, right, in the Asian culture. So they were arranging my engagement data. Hey, where's my human right there? So I was occasionally dating that time, some guy, poor guy, Western guy. I said, if you don't marry me now, within 1 week, I'm gonna be hijacked. But never attempt such because it cost a high. Because my parents got so mad. I pick up the phone, mother, you don't have to worry about my marriage and engagement. I fixed mine. They were speechless, hung up. Next day, they pulled my name out of a family tree. So my three brothers, they all inherit multi-billion-dollar in energy tycoon business. Nothing, no one shared to me. Never mind. So I had to be dropout student. I could not pay for my tuition. And so, but I ended up at Bloomingdale's. Sometime in your life, when you make very hard decision, you have to be responsible, no regret. And the third is any great chance, regardless how well prepared, taken the chance. So Mr. Marvin Trump, the legendary chairman, he interviewed me because at that time they were, doing some kind of country promotion in the 80s, ancient time before you guys were born. And they were looking for a kind of a person from Korea who can handle this project. So I'd never studied fashion, by the way. I only studied sociology, some international politics, economic relations, more social science. But he said, can you do it? Without hesitant, yes, I can do that. So first day I was sitting in the meeting at Bloomingdale's chairman's office. They were talking about MD. I said, why they are talking about medical doctor? It was merchandising. So all other colleagues go, this country pumpkin colored lady doesn't speak good English. Why she's here? So I was discriminated and they did not include me and I had to cry over a lot to survive. But I worked 10 times harder. I made through. That made me today very strong. Every single dollar. I was a billionaire family little princess, but now became beggar because I have to earn every single dollar. So I remember I bought with my own earned money. That time, Bloomingdale did not pay well. So anyway, and so I got not even second, third class really, but before the busting, those cars, I bought it. And I thought, my God, I bought this car with my own money. That experience you should have. So I constantly tried, whenever you are in the crossroad, make some hard decision. One of the biggest obstacles is fear. Fear is only in you, not outside. Agree? Class of 2025, agree, right? Because now you are celebrating here. Now we are sending you to wilderness. Okay, so a lot of challenges, frustrations, failures, anything will wait for you. So anyway, so three things I really made kind of myself jump off the cliff, I would say, in my life experience. So being kicked out from the comfy family and being alone in cutthroat environment, New York, surviving through was already jumping off the cliff beside as women. When I started in 1989, I returned to Korea, not because I wanted. I had a really serious sickness. I never had such a hardship. And my daughter was born. It was an unexpected pregnancy. But I carried on. She became my blessing. She just had her MBA from work, and now she works in the BCG New York. She thinks her mom is too boring, and your company is too small, so I don't join you. So good for her. So be like that. Don't expect your parents will inherit. So even last night I was sitting with her over dinner. You know what? What is inheritance about? Yes, even I come from multi-billionaire background, but I did not inherit anything. But that made me so strong, independent like this. And so I said three things, inheritance. One is God. My father inherited the best business gene. He was a great guy. He was honest, taxpayer, and the biggest tycoon, even though he was too conservative against women. And my mother, she could not inherit anything because father abandoned her not to do it, but she inherited the best faith in God. So these two made me today. So three obstacles, as I mentioned, how you survive as women, very male chauvinistic environment like Korea and Japan. Is there anybody been Korea and Japan? Oh my God, not many. you don't know the different planet, you should come. This is not emerging market, all the high tech. Guess what? Korea has K-pop, K-drama, K-food. You should not miss it. So, actually, as a dean said, we'll provide playground for you, right? Partnership with the Parsons Playground. It means from internships, some entrepreneurship, any kind of boot camp you need, come join us. And anyway, so second really jumping was being from local to global, because often you are confined by your own little world, West, like let's say Asia, American continents, and Europe in big way, and Africa, of course, many others too. So very hard to go beyond. But if I were you in age, I used to do a lot of backpacking, traveling, all these crazy, trips, try to get rid of my fear. So that's another one. Come to Asia before getting too late. And the third one is really as also my case, leader company also compete with the big guys. We are competing with the biggest, like LV and the Caring Group. They are 100 times bigger. You know what? There's only two choices. One, you give up because no way to win their money power, talents power, infra power, whatever. But if you don't give up, God never makes me give up. Then what do I do? Is the only way is winning. No other choice. Then how the technology coming in, great IT infra, digitalization, AI help. Do go for it. And so now my team says it's time to go, so I have to finish out here. But I just want to remain, what is a kind of a secret tip and formula in your life and business, how you succeed? First, I never really pursue success. For me, it's a mission tool I carry. So three things I want to say. One, physical muscle. Can you see my arm? I did a 50 times push-up already this morning, 50 times a squat. Even though I fractured my arm twice, I don't give in, So you have to be physically fit and, really challenge yourself. Second is a mental muscle. Whenever these are frustration, failure, mistake, breaking point, whatever, don't give in. There's always a way around you can do a smart way. When you're focusing on, you can overcome those hurdles, then you really accumulate more mental muscle. The last, not least, is spiritual muscle. I know some of you may not be believer in God, but I prefer to be God's children than monkey descendants. And secondly, in the era of AI, what remains for us? Scary that we talk about AI agent, AI distillation, AI hallucination. They don't sleep. They just increase their knowledge every moment. We human, unfortunately, we lost to that. Only leadership for me remain is spiritual leadership, spiritual insight, because when we talk about spirit, it belongs to God. But only human being, God create us. His Holy Spirit can dwell in us to be superior over whatever we do. So that's one last remaining advice to you. Thank you very much and congratulations.